Hey, what's up, y'all? Billy from Perma Pastures Farm. And I'm actually at the farm this time, as you can probably tell. I got all this tree hay behind me, and we got stuff all over the place. It seems like all over the front porch right now. Got firewood up, surrounded. I know that I'm talking about things that largely you can't see. It's just a beautiful time, but don't let it fool you. So we've had an Arab spring, a weird summer, and it seems by all likelihood that we are fast approaching what Shakespeare called the winter of our discontent. Richard III, opening line. He meant it maybe for different reasons, but I think we can find some parallels there. So let me just go on and get to it. I mean, normally when I do these things, it's always a somber kind of thing, and I guess I'm going to try to get away from that. I'm going to lean more in. As you've seen and witnessed almost certainly if you've been watching this channel for any period of time, can you find a single video that we've done as of late that doesn't at least have at least some portion pertaining to preparedness? In fact, that's really what permaculture is if you stop to think about it. In fact, Eric Sider makes a really awesome shirt that says Permaculture Preparedness right around the center of it. And it's one of my favorite shirts because really the two do overlay. So let's get back to where we are right now. I mean, you don't need me doing what all the pundits, prostitutes, and the profligate liars out there. You don't need me to give you any more prognostications of doom. I mean, you're getting plenty of that right now, so you don't need me to add to it. What I am going to do is implore each and every one of you out there to give some serious thought to your preparedness right now. To think about the training you have and the training you need. I mean, nobody, no matter where you stand in the continuum of preparedness, there's not a single person I know of that's in this space that feels as if they've arrived. No matter how long they've been doing it, I don't care who they are. So if you're one of those people out there that thinks, oh my goodness, I just woke up to all these crazy, wacky things that are going on and I'm so out of whack, don't worry about it. You're where you are, but at least you have the wherewithal to know that you need to get some things squared away. And that's a lot of what we do right here on this channel. And there's a lot of other good channels out there teaching you the very same thing. Maybe up until now, maybe the food prices or the gas prices and where they are likely to go if things, everything's on a knife's edge right now. If it goes one way or the other, it can mean all the difference in the world of what you're paying for food and fuel. The two things they don't include in the inflation figures. Does that seem absurd to you? Yeah, it does to me too. So let me get down to brass tacks here. Look, nobody's paying me to say this. I'm saying this out of altruism. I'm saying this because it matters. Look, if you're one of those people out there and you're thinking, okay, man, I'm just getting started, I don't know where to go. Well, guess what? You have some really awesome options out there, some of which are going on this weekend and also into next weekend. This weekend is going to be mountain readiness. I'm going to be teaching a knot and homestead class. I'm basically taking all that experience I've learned as a mountaineer and as a U.S. Army sapper, and I've distilled it down into a class that really I haven't done in years. In fact, the only time I've ever done it was in preparedness circles. But it's pretty cool that I'm going to have the opportunity to present that class. Like I said, knock the dust off of it. I'm going to be able to present that class to a whole group of people that I've never presented it to before. And you're thinking, okay, what does that have anything to do with preparedness? Well, you might need snares. In fact, if you know what you're doing with rope and knots, you'd be shocked because every single day on this farm, and I've done videos in the past, there's not a day that goes by where I'm not using a prusik, a bowline, a round turn with 2 half hitches, a double sheet bend, maybe a square knot, or all of them. I'm even going to do some pretty cool stuff that you see with bootlaces, but it's not about me. There's a lot of awesome classes out there that I can't wait. In fact, right after I film this video, I'm probably going to be heading on the first thing smoking out to that festival so I can go get myself drummed up on things I don't know a whole lot about. Some of which is communication. Some of which is wild foraging. So it's not me. I'm educating in the areas where I'm strong, but I'm also expecting to be educated in the areas where I'm very weak. And I got a lot of holes in my game, and I'm going out there to go get some of them filled. And I'm going to hope that you do the same. In fact, if you can't make it this weekend, next week, Kentucky Sustainable living. I'm going to be helping Darren from Hacks for the Homesteader. He's going to be processing the pig. There's going to be people out there showing you what you need to do in the medical areas, which is another area where I'm really short. All these areas, I'm not just going there to teach. I am going there to be a student. And I'm hoping I'm going to see a lot of you people there too, because, and you know, let's not forget the other unsung part of all these festivals. That's really the community. Many of you, myself included, feel like outliers in the areas where we come from. You feel like that person out there that thinks, oh my goodness, man, I'm the only one around here that sees it this way. Man, I just feel like I'm all alone. Well, you'll find community at a place like that. And in fact, almost certainly, I'll bet money on it that every single time I go to one of these places, myself and everybody else there finds out that you just met another person that might live just 10, 15 minutes down the road. So right there, you got yourself community. So it's not just what you learn, but it's also the community you get, and you feel less alone in the world. Because I know that many of you out there right now watching me are saying, good night. Man, I do feel alone. I felt alone. And in fact, the only community I've been able to find is maybe in some of these channels on YouTube. Well, these things aren't expensive. You know, you got to get the gas money to get there. But if you just go there and learn a single skill that made that trip worth it, then it's worth it. Just like last week, you know, I've worked on building an earthship. I learned how to pound a tire in a new way that has it done in 5 minutes. Even if all the other things, the wonderful things that happened on that trip didn't happen, it was worth it solely for that reason. And to also get my wife trained up by real experts before we go putting in retaining walls down here. So folks, I'm just going to highly implore to all of you out there. I mean, you got people like, good night, man. He was just on Man in America podcast the other day, Martin Armstrong. Not an alarmist. In fact, he's called so many things out there with such incredible precision that it'll blow your mind. But people like him are even saying, look, you need to have 2 years of food on hand. Now, do you need that much? Well, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. I'll leave that up to you to figure out what you need. But we've also done video after video about how a person with dry goods and, you know, with $100, how a single person could feed themselves for over 70 days with just $100. Now that was back then, and that was just months ago. So with the inflation being what it is, I mean, maybe you don't get 70 days out of it, but that's only $100. Look, I'm not going to be the fear and doom and gloom person. I've never been a person, as you know, on this channel or the podcast, where I present you a problem without then also providing at least 2 possible solutions. It's always been what we do here. But one of those solutions I'm going to ask you right now is to consider going to these things where we fellowship, where we exchange knowledge, where we even to a certain extent might even commiserate for a little while, but we don't spend a lot of time doing that. But folks, at the end of the day, I'm just going to say, look, find that community where you can find it right now. Because we might be heading for what Shakespeare called the winter of our discontent. But it would be nice if you just get a couple of skills, maybe one, maybe a few, maybe find some community out there. Would it have been worth it? I say yeah. In fact, I give a resounding yes. All right, y'all, if you need anything we have, bone sauce, it's a real good time to put those on when the leaves are coming off. Comfrey, we've done video, probably more videos than anybody else on the planet as to why you should be growing that right now. We have that all at the website, rice, knives, anything you need. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it right there because I could potentially go dark. I'm going to keep it positive. Remember, y'all, until next time, this is Billy from Perma Pastures Farm, and I'm going to say the tagline we always say in every podcast. Stay alert, stay alive. We'll see you next time.